Hello again, it's Noob, and today I get to show off, talk about and demonstrate a tool I've designed with Multipick. Now, full disclosure, I've worked with Multipick before. I hope to continue to work with Multipick. The tool that was in this video was sent to me by Multipick for this video, but it's not a paid advert. All thoughts of my own. I just want to disclose all my relationships and where I got the item from and all that kind of stuff. As we all know, Multipick do a huge range of high quality lockpick sets, and whenever I look at their sets, no matter how impressive they might be, I always think, do you know what would be really cool to add to one of these, which isn't in any of them yet, is a tubular lock tension tool. What do I mean by tubular lock? I mean one of these radial locks that you find in all sorts of applications really, service cabinets, vending machines, bollards, security doors, you name it. Just like standard lock, you have key pins, the ones in brass, and driver pins, the ones in silver here. And if we get a key which has again a radial bitting, see like shallow cuts and deep cuts, pop that into the lock, you'll see that the key pins are pushed down and all of the driver pins align with the shear line, allowing the lock to turn like this. So until now, almost unbelievably, Multipick never had a tubular lock tension tool. So that's why I approached Multipick to say, could we make one? Because it'd just be such an easy add to these sets. Even if it's just an addition that you would buy separately, it just seemed like, why wouldn't we have one as part of the range? Especially some kits actually have some probes, which I find extremely useful for pushing down on tubular lock pins. And we didn't want to reinvent the wheel too much. It just had to be practical, it had to work, it had to be easily carried around, so fit into you know, any kit of pretty much any size. And you can see here, I can just slide this in to, well, anywhere in standard kits. This is a nice slim tool. There were a lot of just small features that I had to consider when making this. So one, I did want to have it nice and slim, but it had to be thick enough to be strong enough to handle some torque. I wanted the length not to be too long. You get more torque if it's slightly longer, of course, you know, get that lever effect. But I know a lot of other pickers tend to like to hold these sort of on the fingertips. You have two other parts here. So the distance between the, let's call it the tension tip, and the bit which really just stabilizes the tool in the lock, this spiky bit, the distance between here and here is very standard. That isn't something we've changed, but the tension tip is a little bit deeper, a little bit broader, and this spike here, which I'll demonstrate in a minute, is just a little bit of a higher angle, which has much better clearance. You'll also notice a little hump. Why is that? Well, let's have a look at two of the most common tubular lock types. So here is type 1, very standard, nothing too out of the ordinary. And you can see here that you know, you could put the tension tool in, the spike, well, we're going to pick it clockwise, so the spike would go here, and that has really good clearance. You can see it allows the tool to sit flush with the lock, no rocking at all, so that gives you a really good position. But there are some tubular locks like these, which are often found in places where a machine might be more prone to being attacked by a drill attack. You get these tubular locks with different size. You can see this one's quite small and central, this one's quite large. Different size ball bearings. Why do they have those? Well, as I might have alluded to earlier, if you're trying to drill out the center of these locks, the drill will always just slip off the ball bearing in the middle. So yeah, these are slightly higher security tubular locks. The thing is if you have something flat over this, even if it's only just on the edge, you tend to not have good contact because of the lump, and you tend to have a tool that rocks. So we tried to make a cutout which was sort of slightly off center, because it needs to be, because of the way that this tool itself goes into the lock, so that the hump in the middle would be relatively central when you actually tension, and deep enough that it would be able to allow for ball bearings both small and large. Now, what you'll see is when I put tension on this, that there is probably about a quarter to a third of that ball bearing which has been cleared by that hump in the middle. And that's really important because it means that the tool again can just sit flat and not rock on top of the tubular lock. With a tool without that and a sort of shorter tension part here, what you can end up doing is actually slipping off the lock slightly. So it was a very small adjustment, but one which we thought was worth doing. So now I want to do a few demos picking both types of these locks. I will only pick it one position because technically you could pick these, I can't remember how many times, something like 7 times I think, to get a full 360 degrees. Clearly we don't need to do that, we just need to pick it one position to show that it can be picked. If you wanted to, you could keep picking it until it went round, round, round as many times as you want it. So again, pop that tension in, and we're just going to go round, finding anything that gives us that feedback and push down. So really nice click on 4 and 5, 6 there, going back round, 7, just a little click, nothing on 1, 2, now really nice click off 2. We should fly through this lock with feedback like this. This one's giving us some really good indications of what's, oh look at that, almost there. So we're looking for one more pin. 2 gave us another click, nothing on 3, nothing on 4, nothing on 5, 6, and there we go, got that open again. I'll show you there. Time for one of those locks with the ball bearings. Got 2 types of this one, I think. So the first one, make sure that's held in tightly, grab some tension, and let's see how quickly we can whiz through this one. Again, just looking for that one position forwards to prove it's opened. There's no point in doing a full 360 since it's the same methodology over and over and over and over and over again. That was pin 6 there, might have heard. Nothing on 1, pin 2's binding now. Oh, almost there. Do you see that partial core movement, which means we're very close? So just trying to find those pins that aren't quite set yet. That was pin 6 there that wasn't quite set. Back through, pin 1, no, pin 2, and yes, we got an open very fast on that one. We'll end on this slightly higher security anti-drill tubular lock. I mean, they all look about the same, don't they? But you have to sort of trust me on this one, that this one is a tiny bit higher security than the last few. Some of them just have, like I said, slightly tapered pins. Some of them have spools in. This one just feels a little bit tougher. So let's whiz around this. And again, that little notch in, that's pin 3, in the pin 4 giving me really good feedback, and 5. That notch in the pick just means that you're not bothering that anti-drill ball bearing at all. Even if it's only a little bit, you don't get any rock. The tool sits flat against the surface, and that's really useful. Pin 1 just gave me a little bit of feedback there. So what I'm finding with this is that it feels like nothing is binding, but it is. It's just maybe, I think, got slight tapering on the pins. Pin 7 gave me some very good feedback there. Pin 1 teasing that it wants to be picked, but not quite. Just going back round now. Pin 5, pin 6, a little click off that. Let's try pin 1. Pin 1 did actually move then. Pin 2 gave me a tiny bit of feedback. I think these are slightly tapered pins, so you do need to pick these more than once, or at least come back to it once you've clicked them. You just need to come back to this. Look at that, there we go, and that's pin 5 there, and we have the open again. I can just show you that is opened. So there you go, that's the Multipick Elite Tubular Tensioner. It's really effective, as you saw. It's just really effective on a load of very common tubular locks, and I think Multipick did a really good job of realising my design and all those elements. We definitely prototyped it first and tested it. I'm really pleased with the way it works and all the angles and the measurements and everything. It's just a solid little tool. Anything I'd like to say about it? Well, two things really. Is one, it's not a magic tool. It is one fixed size, and while it does tension the most common tubular lock sizes, there are hundreds of different tubular locks out there, and there will be ones which this obviously can't tension. The other thing is I haven't found the need to make it more comfortable to the fingers, but if you're going to pick tubular locks for any length of time, maybe putting a bit of clear shrink tube over the handles might make it a little bit more comfortable if you were one of those people who picks tubular locks for very long periods. Other than that, I'm really pleased with this. I think that it's just a nice, simple, practical, easily thrown into a kit style design, and yeah, you can throw it pretty much in anything and it'll be a really good little tool for everyday carry. Now, I don't get a cut off profits or anything like that, but I will give you the prices at the time of filming just for your information. Obviously these will change depending on whenever you watch the video, or exchange rates and all that kind of stuff, but nevertheless this is €4.90 or £4.17 or $5.44. So yeah, I hope you like it. It's just a very sort of simple update on a classic style design, but I hope it's one that you personally like. If you do, leave the video a like or comment about this tool, leave one below, and of course I'll see you all next time.